Checking off the boxes on the way to what we hope will be a championship. Yes, they've got the postseason berth. Yes, they're the National League East champs. And tonight they get a bye right to the NLDS that comes with 5 days off at the end of the regular season. And home field advantage, that is not out of the realm, not yet, depending on what the Milwaukee Brewers do over the last 4 games. And these special guys right here. 3 home runs by Edmundo Sosa, Schwarber with 2, Bohm, Kemp, Stott with 1. Those are the band of brothers that put them all over the fence. 11 runs scored by the Phillies tonight, all by the long ball. Every single one of them went over the fence. You won't see a photo like that, I would not think, for quite a while. That is excitement in South Philadelphia tonight. One of those special nights where you know where you were. Oh, you remember the night when Schwarber had the 2 and Sosa had the 3, and they had 5 shots. It was amazing. Ricky Bottalico, Ruben Amaro Jr., I'm Michael Barkan. This is Phillies Postgame Live, presented by Cure Auto Insurance. Ricky Bo,
yeah.
I have not mentioned Jesús Luzardo, and I feel remiss in not having done so.
He was good
because
tonight.
This guy was phenomenal. And the same with Schwarber. What beats 2 home runs? 3 home runs.
I mean, really think about this. I was just talking on the crossover, and the one thing that kind of occurred to me was Kyle Schwarber was 4 for 5 in this game, had 2 home runs, and he was not the star of the game to talk to after the game. But Edmundo Sosa was ridiculous. Here's my biggest take. That 7th inning, I don't know if I've ever seen that before. Home run, error, home run. I mean, you don't normally see that in baseball. Even with all those juice guys that I played against, you really didn't see that. I mean, this was a pretty special ball game. And I mean, for Edmundo Sosa, I love the appreciation that he has for this. I mean, no other shortstop in Phillies history has ever done this. That is impressive. He's not even the starting shortstop.
Not even the starting shortstop.
How great is that?
And he is the first Phillies shortstop to do 3 home runs in a game. Ruben Amaro Jr. I'll echo the words of John Kruk, who said, he just brings us, and they have just brought us joy. And that's why we watch the games.
Yeah, and he's one of those players that you'll sort of pull for all the time. He's always prepared. He always does something positive in every game he plays in, whether it's a base hit or a play or a base running play, whatever the case may be, he's always ready to contribute. And he's so appreciative of being a Major League Baseball player. Get a chance to interact with him quite a bit. And there's nobody who appreciates being on a Major League field more than Edmundo Sosa. And you have to pull for those kind of guys because he works hard at his craft. He loves his teammates. His teammates love him. And for him to produce the way he did today after sitting basically for 12 days or whatever it was, with his leg issue, pretty amazing, and I'm really, really happy for the kid because he deserves it as much as anybody on this ball club.
What I love most about tonight is that it followed last night. We were all upset about what befell the Phillies last night, in large part what they did to themselves. And tonight, they were trying to avoid their first 4-game losing streak since June. Championship teams, championship-driven teams do just that, and that's what they did. Forget about last night. Here's what we're putting on you tonight. 11 runs, courtesy of 8 dingers.
Yeah, Michael, this is the thing that the Phillies do pretty much have been doing the last 2 or 3 years, maybe 4 years now. They have the most resilience of any team. Like, they can have a really bad game one day and they can bounce back and do this the very next day. Maybe not quite this, but they'll come back and play a strong baseball game. And I think it really starts with the starting pitching. That really sort of sets the tone. I know that this was an historic day offensively, but when you have a guy like Luzardo on the mound, dealing the way he did, shutting things down early, it sort of sets the tone for the team, and then it just took off from there. And this resilience is something that, I love about this ball club, and I think it will fare well for them, hopefully, during the postseason, because, hey, they're going to have to bounce back from some trouble, and they haven't done it lately, but hopefully they can do that when they do have some trouble in the postseason.
One of the ways they'll bounce back is by great defense and great starting pitching. They had it again tonight, courtesy of Jesús Luzardo. Ruben, you made a point as we were watching the game. His ERA coming into tonight was 4.08. He leaves 3.92, which is saying something. You've got a season ERA in the threes.
Yeah, that's important for him personally. But, now he looks up there and looks on the marquee and he goes, 15 wins, 3.92 ERA, 183 innings pitched, and well over 200 strikeouts. He's never had this number of strikeouts. I got to believe that he's feeling really good about himself. Number one, he stayed healthy. Number two, he was extremely durable. And number three, he was dominant at times. And for him to dominate late, 97, 98 in like his 100th pitch, that's pretty darn impressive. And hopefully he can continue to carry that into the postseason. Career
high in wins, in innings, and in strikeouts for Jesús Luzardo, and who knows what's in store for the playoffs.
If you think about it, he was really good for most of the season. I mean, he did have that probably 3-week period it probably was where he was having problems with runners on second base. He was having problems from the stretch, and then all of a sudden he kind of figured that out, and slowly but surely he got back to where he is right now. I mean, to me, when you could make those adjustments and you understand the adjustments, which I think he does right now, he's going to be a tough one to go at in the playoffs.
Yeah. So the important thing for me is when you go back and look at this off-season move, people were going, "What are they doing, Luzardo? They're trading Luzardo." Well, he only had 50 innings the year before, or whatever. The dude is a stud. I mean, the man's got one of the best left-handed arms in the game. I think it was a great move by Dombrowski. I said it at the time, and I believed in it. And he proved to the world, I think, that this was a very important piece. Imagine where they would be right now without him in the rotation, with Wheeler going down. It would be troublesome for these guys at this point.
Also, look, Ricky has taken to calling, referring to Miami as bottom dwellers, and they certainly are
bottom feeders.
Let's get it right, Michael. And certainly they're a below 500 team, but they're a major league team. And the Phillies come in here without JT Realmuto, without Bryce Harper, and without Trey Turner, and they handle these guys to that tune of 11-1. Again, that is saying something.
Well, the interesting part is this is what we expect. I mean, let's face it, as Phillies fans, we've seen this team for the last 3 years. We want this domination. We want to beat teams up like this. And you look at this game tonight, the only thing bad was the Phillies defense stunk. I mean, it wasn't very good. They had a couple errors in this game. But when you look at it offensively, they were pretty good in this game. Runners in scoring position, not so much, 1 for 7, but that's old hat to them. That's exactly what they do. And pitching-wise, you can't complain at all. So, yeah. I mean, you're looking at a team right now. If this is what we're going to see in the playoffs, I don't know how teams are going to fare.
So I think part of this is that next man up mentality. When a guy goes down, when Turner goes down, when Schwarber or whoever, it doesn't matter. Turner, anybody who goes down, there's always seems to be somebody who can pick them up. Today, Marchand, great job behind the plate. Handled Jesús Luzardo to a T. There was a lot of people talking about, the ERA for Marchand is not that great. Well, guess what? This man can handle the guys back there as well. He did a heck of a job of managing Luzardo through that game. And, I mean, it's just that next man up mentality, and they've done a very good job of being able to handle that. And I think that strikes to the staff, to everybody involved.
Rob Thomson, known as Topper. I think because the top comes off, certainly in moments like this. Let's just see how excited he is about this.
There ain't no
He'll
way.
be chill, man. He'll be chill.
What?
He's
going to be over the top.
Pretty good game, right?
He might drop his pencil. All right, here's Rob Thomson postgame.
First time in history, 3 home runs by a Philly shortstop. So, he played great. That's why I got him off his feet in the 9th there, just to make sure he's okay for tomorrow.
What does 8 home runs as a franchise record in a game for as long as this franchise has been around mean to you?
Well, I think any record is great, and every record's meant to be broken. So, it came on a really important night. We secured the bye. It's like winning a playoff series, really. But we still have more to do. Milwaukee hasn't clinched yet, so we got to keep playing. But yeah, it's great.
How great would it be to see Kyle Schwarber break the franchise record for home runs in a season?
Yeah, for him, Ryan Howard's a great player. He really is. I got a lot of respect for him. But it'd be nice to see Schwarber break it. He's had one heck of a year, and he's a heck of a person. So, and like I said, records are meant to be broken.
How do you balance that this weekend, though? If the games maybe get to a point where they don't have a ton of meaning, like wanting to let him have a chance to break it, but also maybe rest guys?
Well, I think I'll talk to him, but I think I'll give him a chance to break it if it's there.
Luzardo tonight, what did you just see from him again?
Fantastic. He keeps rolling along here, knock on wood, but the changeup was really effective tonight. He threw it. He got 2 strikeouts in the first inning and 3-2 pitches. But the changeup, slider was good. Filled up the zone. He was, and he had 42 pitches after the second inning. Then he settled right in. So broke his career record for strikeouts and innings pitched and starts. And so it's really impressive regular season for him.
Jesus, what do you see as the difference sometimes when he gets a lot of strikeouts versus when he settles in, like you said, he has some of those quick at-bats where he gets a lot of weak contact. Is there any difference that you see?
I think a lot of it has to do with fastball command, and for a while now his secondary pitches have been really sharp. The changeup was better tonight than I've seen it recently, but the slider's been really good for a while now. So, I think, the strikeouts are great, but it creates a lot of pitches. He had 6 strikeouts after 2 innings, but it was 42 pitches. So it's good to see him settle in, get some weak contact, some quick outs. That allowed him to go 7 innings.
Stott hit 440 off a lefty, his first homer against a lefty in like a year and a half. His last few months, what can you say about the adjustments he's made and being able to drive the ball a little more?
Yeah, I think it's just his setup and the new takeaway that he's got, load, whatever you want to call it. I think it's just he's settled in. There's a lot less movement. He knows where the barrel's at. He's made some adjustments, and that's good.
Rob, your power numbers as a team since about midway point or all-star break have jumped back towards the top of the league. What do you attribute that surge to?
Well, right around that time, I had a meeting with the hitters and talked to them about, getting the ball up in the air, maybe to the pull side a little bit. No, look, you got to look at the back of the baseball card. I say it all the time, and this is a slug team. We want to control the strike zone, but they're going to get their home runs, and that's where we've been at for a bit.
Allowed first Bohm and now Sosa to come back from the IL and not really miss a beat timing-wise?
Our training staff, they do an unbelievable job. They really do. They know exactly what they know exactly what they're doing. They collaborate like nobody I've ever seen before. It's a special group.
In terms of managing, beyond Kyle, managing the rest of the team over the last 4 games, how much will you be paying attention to the American League standings, how you shape up against those American League teams in the event you get to the World Series and would like to have?
Nothing. I'm just focused on our team.
How much fun is a game like tonight? I mean, dominant starting pitching, 8 home runs. You're the first team in history to have a starting pitcher have 10 strikeouts with no walks, and your offense hit 8 homers.
Yeah, it's a complete game. I know we made a couple errors, but they were kind of tough plays. But it was a complete game, and I like the way we played tonight because I mentioned last night after the game we've been a little bit sloppy and we need to clean it up, and I think we played really well tonight.
Tremendously
Babe Ruth didn't do what he's done.
He has got tremendously quick hands, and that's what makes him so effective. He lets the ball get deep. He hits the ball as it's coming next to him instead of kind of jumping out at it like we see some guys try to do. Quick hands, and think about this. He's using ballparks as like a joke. Like that, the wall in the outfield, that's just a suggestion to him. The upper deck, that's more like it.
Look at these lists. We just showed you the Phillies home run leaders, and he's number 2. Maybe will be number 1. And then the most homers by a left-handed batter against a left-handed pitcher in Major League history. Kyle Schwarber is atop that list. Matt Olson of the Braves, Stan Musial, Barry Bonds, and Ken Griffey Jr. I mean, those are Hall of Fame names there, and he is atop that list.
I just saw one of the pundits write something about Kyle Schwarber being the 10th best as far as the MVP is concerned. That's where that person ranked him. That is the biggest joke of all time. This man has had one of the most historic seasons ever. I mean, as far as runs scored, runs batted in, driving balls out of the ballpark. I mean, that's sort of what you want. It's about run production, and that's exactly what he's done. And if he's not 1 or 2 in the voting, it will be a travesty because the man has had an incredible year, not to mention the fact when you weight it and what the impact is on the team that is winning. The best team in the National League maybe, beyond maybe Milwaukee, because the records are similar. I mean, you're talking about a guy who had an historic season. This is an MVP player for me.
Yeah, and
58, 60 is not out of the question right now.
Well, we'll see
For
if
him.
he continues to be hot. He came off a 5-game home run drought, and he just popped 2 tonight. 132 runs batted in, the most in baseball. And we heard Rob Thomson say during his availability, he was asked, are you going to rest him or are you going to let him go for it? He said, I think I will let him go for it. It comes down to the last day of the season, Sunday or even Saturday, where he might otherwise have been rested. He's going to let it go.
But do you blame him?
No.
Come on. I mean, you don't
Heck
get
no.
this opportunity. That would be like one of these pitchers going in there and having a perfect game through 8, and Rob goes, he's got 80 pitches. I got to get him out of there. I don't think that's happening.
Yeah, he gets 4 at-bats a game. He's a DH, and he gets that record. Do you think he will get it? 2 to tie, 3 to break. The great Ryan Howard.
I will not ever doubt this man because when he hits balls like this and gets in a roll, I mean, this guy can hit home run almost every swing. I mean, it gets to the point where every single swing that he takes could potentially be a home run. And so I'm not gonna doubt the guy. I'm not gonna doubt him because he can do it. We've seen him, and he can get them in bunches. Who knows?
Ricky Bo?
I think he at least ties it, if not breaks it.
It'd be unbelievable.
Yes, it would.
All right, we're going to talk more about Kyle Schwarber because there's another question to be asked about him and his future. Imagine what that might be. Here is Jesús Luzardo, who had a stellar night as well in the clubhouse.
Yeah, I mean, career highs for me, and it's just obviously encouraging for me just knowing that I can bounce back off last year and being hurt and all that. I think that it helped me a lot just knowing that I'm capable of that, bouncing back and carrying that workload.
What do you think you're most proud of, like when you look at your season as a whole?
Coming off those 2 blow-up starts, just being able to fight back and kind of get back in a roll, and for me, finding my groove again after that. I feel like, got knocked down a little bit and had to find what worked again and figure out some stuff with myself. And thankfully, we got back in a groove and got back on a roll.
What was the key to overcoming that and getting back in the groove, like you said?
I mean, maybe cleaning up a little bit of the tipping stuff, but apart from that, just making good pitches and trusting my stuff in the zone. Not shying away from contact and understanding that there's a lot of outs in the zone and you don't have to necessarily expand, and that's where the walks come and falling behind and all that.
In a game like tonight, does anything shift when you're using a lot of pitches and striking a lot of guys out early to then quicker at-bats and more contact? Is there anything that shifts in you after that second inning?
No, I think for me, just filling up the zone as much as possible. I think I got into a lot of 3-ball counts, ended up getting 3-2 a good bit, and just trying to eliminate that and try to get guys, on or out in 3 or less. And I think that's something that, I kind of try to take personally is try to get through the innings as fast as possible to go deeper into games.
Any of those home runs stick out to you?
For us?
Yeah, like one stuck out to you.
I mean, a couple. Sosa hit 3. I think he was the first shortstop in Phillies history to do that, so that was pretty cool. And then Schwarber, set a record on left-on-left home runs in a season, so that sticks out. But, I mean, everyone counts, so we're happy to take them. But those definitely, for me, were important.
You've experienced it from the other side. You're a bit outsider to get to be part of postseason baseball with this team and this ballpark.
I mean, extremely excited. I think that anyone, even in the regular season, you can see the home field advantage here, but especially in the postseason, it's pretty well known. Teams don't want to come play here, and there's a good reason for that.
Most wins in one season in Phillies franchise history, and they are in their 143rd season of play. And they're your 2025 Phils. If they win the rest of the games, we'll see about tomorrow because there's weather supposedly that's might come up, but they could win 97 games, which would tie them with the 2010 and 1993 Phillies, and that would be saying something. Of course, the 2011 Phillies have the franchise record of 102. And here's our Toyota push for the playoffs. And this is the postseason bracket up to the moment. And the Phillies have clinched that home field and the bye for the first round of the playoffs. We'll see about what Milwaukee does. They're your division leaders on the left. The wild card is settled except for the third spot. The Mets occupy that spot now. Cincinnati's a game back with Arizona, St. Louis, and then the Marlins. The Marlins have been pushed to the brink, but they have yet to be eliminated. So
they're on the verge.
They are
very close.
And they look like, the way they played tonight, they look like they're out. I'll tell you that.
They have been playing very good. They've won, I don't know, 11 out of the last 13 games.
Yeah.
And they've won, 7 straight until today. And, they've been playing much better baseball. And you got to give them a lot of credit because their starting pitching has been actually pretty good. And those young players are playing well. But I think the Phillies did some imposing. They imposed on them today and showed them who was boss here in the NL East.
Here's Bryson Stott on his night tonight, and the team's win.
It was fun. Took a lot of good swings today, so seeing the ball go over the wall that many times was pretty cool.
How hard is it? You didn't do this, but Edmundo didn't play for like 12 days. Come back for 3 home runs. How hard is that?
Pretty easy. Apparently. No, it's tough. And I mean, sometimes it works in your favor, and it's like you've been playing for 12 days or you found something during those 12 days in the cage and it just kind of carries over. But overall, it's a tough thing to do, and that was pretty impressive.
Did you say anything after you hit the third? I mean, you guys all seem like you love what you did.
Hit a fourth. Hit a fourth.
You've really turned around your season in the last 2 months. What was the key to that, and how mentally did you kind of sort of survive the rough start and manage to turn it around?
Yeah, just lowering my hands a little bit and trying to get back to kind of where I was, and 23, and just kind of go from there. And I mean, as I've gotten older, it's been better at knowing it's a game, and there's a lot worse going on. So just try not to take it to heart too much. Obviously, you're disappointed when you don't get a hit, but just flush it and try to go make a play. And that's the cool thing about baseball is you have 162 chances to go out there. So just flushing it and trying to help the team in a different way if that day didn't go very well.
You clinched the second seed tonight. How do you guys handle that, even moving forward? 4 games.
I think probably come in and swing the bats, and I'm sure we'll have some lives and things like that again, and just kind of keep our same routines and go from there.
Playing behind Luzardo for a full year now, like what sticks out to you about the year the guys had?
His stuff is electric. He goes right at guys, and he's going to get his strikeouts, but also going to keep you involved. So it's fun having him on our side. Not facing him, but yeah, his stuff is pretty electric.
We steal it because it's
can't steal the base when you're in scoring position unless you're absolutely going to make it. I don't have any problem with guys being aggressive, but there's a time to be aggressive and a time not to be, and that was not one of them.
Right when that happened, I was like, "What are they? Why? What are you thinking?"
Plus, he jammed both of his arms up into his shoulders.
Not that it would have helped him anyways. They ended up getting it handed to him. But that's a heck of a throw by Marchand.
Bad form.
Correct.
Yeah, the German judge gave him a 4-2. Not good. Let's go to Kyle Schwarber, one of the stars of tonight's game in the clubhouse.
I improved against lefties. No one in the history of the sport has hit more left on left
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a pretty cool stat. Shows about, there's been a lot of hard work put into that too, just behind the scenes of, just kind of takes you back to 2020, getting on-tendered, and then you sign a one-year deal and you get with a really good hitting coach, and he kind of came up with a plan and attacked it, and just felt like it's kind of grown over the years. So a lot of credit goes to K-Long, Pat Rossler too, and all the other hitting coaches that have been here. My guy back at home, Aaron Capista, just all the continuous hard work on that stuff. So it's a pretty cool stat, and hopefully it keeps going.
You like to focus more on team goals, but if it gets to a point this weekend where you guys have clinched everything you can clinch, and Rob comes in and says, do you want to chase the record or have a day off? Like, which way would you lean on that?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, that it's, everything that we got to do is in front of us. It's, and it's about finishing healthy, and but you also have to field a lineup too. So I'm also kind of at the bottom of the totem pole there, where I don't play the field much. So I'm always going to be ready to play a game, and like I've always said, if it happens, great. If it doesn't, great. I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about getting all of our guys through the end of 162, and then everyone being ready to be healthy and push towards what we need to go to.
Are you able at all to sort of step back and savor kind of what you've done this season, or are you just still caught up in the day-to-day, and obviously it's not over?
I think it's still on the day-to-day for me. Don't get me wrong. Like, I know that it's been a successful season, not just for me, but for a lot of guys in the clubhouse, and for our team in general. Just, back-to-back NLDS champions, going to the playoffs again. We just got to buy, being one of the top two teams in the National League. So there's a lot to be proud of, and we're not done yet. We got to keep pushing, and you just don't want to be remembered for regular seasons. You want to be remembered for special things down the road. So we know that the postseason's a wild animal, and that there's a lot of different things that we need to do to walk away with a win at the end of the day. So we're excited for it. We just want to get there and push towards the end and get ready for that postseason.
As a guy who hits a lot of home runs, how impressed were you by Sosa missing 12 days and then being able to come back and hit 3 in his first game?
Yeah, it was pretty impressive, right? Where he goes up there and, he's just got like that boogie whip to him where, the first home run he hits where it's just, he's able to stay through it just enough and kind of puts a nice little draw to it and gets it out there at the corner. And then everything else was just really nice swings, and seeing the way that he was working while he was on the IL, and feel like he was ready to go right off the bat, and he goes out there and he shows what he's able to do. It's I feel like our whole lineup right now is showing why that we're a deep lineup, and that it's not going to be we don't want to be easy outs for a lot of people.
You mentioned that this is a place you guys have been before. You won the NL East. Now you have a first-round bye. Is there any clear difference in the mindset or mentality from last season to this season at this point in time?
Yeah, I feel like experience is key, and having experienced a lot of different things in the postseason, a lot with the same group, we're going to be able to rely on that and lean back on it, where we have to, we want to finish strong, we want to finish healthy. That's obviously goal number one. But once we get there, that we know there's a lot of different crazy things that can determine a baseball game in the postseason, and we got to be ready for any kind of situation that pops up or arises at us. That if it's us, making a mistake, that we have to be able to lower the heart rates, even though that everything's at a much higher stake. And if a mistake happens for us against another team, that we want to be able to pounce on that. So there's just a lot of different things that go into postseason baseball, and that's why it's so much fun, because there's no personal stats anymore. It's all about how do you win a baseball game at the end of the day.
283 on the year, but since he's been back, it's over 500. The road ahead, Ricky Boa. How sad are we? How sad am I, Ricky Boa?
I'm going to
The
say
Marlins,
no for me, yes for you.
Oh, my. Come on. And then the Twins. What do you think of
They have
that?
the Eagles.
We're just starting.
The Eagles. The Eagles. This is about baseball, man.
gonna be
This is
red
about
October.
America's
What are you,
pastime,
nuts?
man. This is about the Fall Classic, man. Come on. Tomorrow starts.
I think we should come in all next week and just do
Bueller?
practice pre and post.
Bueller. Walker Bueller. 9-7, 5.13 against Jason Junk.
No, he's mad at you now. He's mad at you.
I am, because it's baseball. It's a summer game.
Wait until
But
Friday
let me
when there's
tell
only
you,
one up there.
There's a big, and you would both agree with this, big difference between the summer game and talking with your neighbor at the seat and, oh, what's the score and what's the count, and the autumn game, which we are in right now. Pitch by pitch, one by one. This is what... 5:30. We're on 5:30 tomorrow. 5:30 we open. It's exciting, man. It's exciting. All right. 8 home runs. Hey, Zeus, the Zeus. See you tomorrow, 5:30. Good night.